Blessings and good evening to you all. Morning, afternoon, breakfast, lunch, dinner, who knows? Whatever it is for you, welcome to Enliven Global Media. And I'm your host, the one and only Mr. LP Stephen Sykes. And today we also have the lovely Queen Anika Walston. How are you doing today, Queen?
I am well. I have no complaints, nor will I ever complain.
All right. Well, hey, if you have a right to, go right on ahead. We share here, so it's not a problem. Well, today is going to be a very interesting show. We have some guests that hopefully can join us. Weren't able to join us at the immediate time, but we're going to try to make it happen for you today. But first and foremost, for everybody who may not know, please, Miss Walston, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Anika Walston, and I'm a licensed mental health professional counselor. Um, there's not really much to know about me. I'm also an author, and I have been doing this podcast with Mr. LP for about over a month now, and I really like it. I enjoyed it. Wonderful
A bit,
topic. So
it's
that's
been
what I
more
am.
than a month. It's been about three now.
Has
Three.
it?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Hmm.
Oh, okay. I didn't listen. I've had so much fun. I'm not even keeping track of time. So I am somebody who loves to converse with other adults to have conversations that are needed in our community. So yes.
Understood. And also, you joined us. So you watched us at least a few times. When our first version, Volume One, I should say, Cycle One, Volume One, Version One, whichever you want to say for us. So I appreciate you always and things. But today's show is going to be a very interesting show. It started off where I'm always having a few choice words about us and parents and all our communities, especially in our Black communities, about how are we treating our kids and things. And we needed to have a discussion about it because it's uh, how we're raising our kids. Also, is about the holidays, cutting the costs, and everything else. Before I give an opening statement, Miss Walston, tell me, as far as you can remember, and I know it hasn't been that long because you've been very young. You're a very young woman. Did you always one? Did you always get a gift for the holidays every year? And then two, separately, how do you feel inflation is affecting your home today, going into the holiday season?
Okay. So I've always gotten gifts, but they weren't gifts the way I'm going to say that I've seen here in these most recent decades. We got very thoughtful gifts, but my parents were the parents that gave all year. So we were given the things that we need, not always necessarily the things we wanted. Now, but before I continue to make that statement, it is not that I have not gotten some extremely elaborate gifts because I'm a spoiled child. So let me not pretend with you. I will tell you on my 11th birthday, I went to my mommy, and I said, "Mommy, if you just get me a piano, I won't ask for anything else." And there was a piano delivered to the door in about 3 weeks. So, yes, I'm a brat. Okay. Now, how inflation affects everything, let's just be honest. Things are outrageous, prices are outrageous. We are making different decisions with our finances. Some of us are making the same decisions with our finances when things were better, which is clearly an eye opener at this time. So, inflation will make you think that you need to make some decisions as it relates to the holidays. Lastly, the holidays are not the same. The meaning, the jubilee, the euphoria, the love, the commitment to family, for me, it's not the same. So I think that makes a big difference right now in how I feel.
As we approach this holiday season, we find ourselves navigating, financial challenges and social expectations. We want to dive into two crucial topics of cutting the cost of the holidays and then also making decisions, as the inflation and the importance with that and correlating with children. and teaching valuable lessons that will set them up for long-term success, not just immediate gain. One of the things I've always talked about is that instead of splurging for on expensive gifts and unnecessary purchases, we need to take this unique opportunity right now with inflation be raised. Now I know it's coming down. They say it's 2.4, but we're still hurting overall. And the season, use this season to shift the narrative. We're going to explore some things to support how we can do small businesses and make wise decisions in our investments in our children, ensuring that they understand that happiness and success is not necessarily tied to material possessions. Because I think that I always said it's not always what we say, but it's also about what we do. And I find a lot of homes, especially single parent homes. I know someone get mad at me or whatever, but single parent homes, especially single parent mothers, tend to do too much, and you will see it all the time. And I've had too many homes, and I know someone going to get mad at me, where I'm going to keep it real. Should Yes, you should have children, but you had them with the wrong person. That's not the right partner. Or you and your partner are not, or did not have the right discussions up front about how are you going to raise children together. In the event that you do separate and or divorce, what does that look like? Keeping things together. And, just because you're in different households, that doesn't mean the rules should be different. How we spend money going into the season, we're always to keep trying to do more and things. And these big businesses need to learn the lesson that you want to, old school saying, you go screw with me, go screw with us, I'm going to screw with you. But in this situation, you're hurting everybody, so we don't need to shop. And it doesn't need to be everything. So, the holiday season is a perfect time to reflect on spending in our financial habits and things. One of the first things I want to say is that we need to break down what you have before you go into the holiday season. Where are you at and things? Miss Walston, have you taken the time out to look at your finances before you go into the holiday season? And did you have to put this $1 million away and this couple of million in another account and things? What was your financial outlook going into the holiday season this year?
Um, Now, I'm trying to figure out how I can say this because my friends call me something that probably would be like inappropriate. I'm not only am I cheap, I'm frugal, and I could probably squeeze a penny like in half. Okay, right? Yeah. I am very financially aware and very financially responsible. Let me share this so that you can understand that this holiday is different for me. So my mother passed away last year in December.
I'm sorry.
So my thought about the holiday right now, I don't know. So there's no financial planning anything this year. Okay. Previous holidays, I always financially plan. I let my children know. We have these discussions. And I did the same thing that my parents have done with me. I'm a giver of all year long. I am a make sure we have what we need, but I am also a an educator to my children. So one of the things that I did for my kids, because both of them were going to college, one was already into college last year, I got them credit cards, but I'm on the credit card. And the rule of thumb is that you get this limit and you pay this bill off every month. You don't go spending cash for anything. Everything is this is supposed to build up your credit. So when it comes to these holidays, if you have managed your money throughout the year, then you go get yourself some with your credit card. All you need to know is on the third, make sure you make that payment, or you will have privileges revoked. I've made both of my children during the middle of the year put money in an annuity. We sit down and we have financial conversations on Sunday. They probably get absolutely sick of me when I talk about money. And it's just because I believe in generational wealth. And I don't care. I don't believe that you have to be rich to start generational wealth. I think you have to be smart, aware, and willing and disciplined to do so. So now my children who are 27, 19, 18, 17 will now know I have money in savings accounts, high interest, money marketing accounts, not just sitting there, so they can get the things that they want and need without spending money. So that's how we financially plan.
Understand, because it's I remember the days grandma would save up a lot of things throughout the year. So what was it, the Christmas Club accounts for Sears and Woolworths, Fingerhut, all these other different things. You JC Penney, and they would send that book out, and you could pick out your toy. You had this amount what you could spend, in those catalogs. So all those things was always enjoyable every year to look at and to see the things that they won't sell throughout the year, and they only keep it for the holiday season. And they knew what they were doing because that's how it goes now. These days, you can get anything you want regardless of the time of the year, but just about. But those things was always very important, and it's good to know where you stand before you going into the holiday season, and take a financial assessment of your bills. Not just wait till oh, I want to repair my credit. Don't just wait till I want to purchase something. Now I want to be serious. It needs to be a full-time. It's a full-time job along with everything else that you have to do. um, we need to set some boundaries and have some rules regarding that. So when and I want to take that in terms of inflation rates, because I think that people do not understand um, what is inflation rate, and how it affects everybody else going forward, and how it's really impactful on how you make your decisions. Now, I always um, say we don't need it, but people have a different time, so difficult time understanding. So let me offer the definition for that. Inflation rate is a percentage of change in the price level of a basket of goods or services over a period of time, usually within a year. It's calculated by comparing the price of the given item in the basket from month to month in the same month of a previous year. It's a broad measure that can refer to an overall increase in prices or the cost of living in a country. It also can be calculated by specific goods or services, such as food and haircuts. It's an indicator of the country's economic stability. A low or unstable inflation rate is generally considered a good sign of a healthy economy. However, rapid or rising inflation rates can lead to a certain loss of purchasing power, and could affect your bills in a number affect your daily life in a number of ways. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to get used to these teeth. And affecting groceries, the utilities, and mortgages, and also it can affect how you save for emergencies and retirement. So these things are very important before you start going into making decisions about how you spend money. Um, what are some actionable items? And you mentioned a few things, but before you go spending this holiday season, what are a couple of actionable items you would do that you can do now? This, let's say you're a mother, single parent, or a young family, any family. What are some actionable items you can do right now before you decide to go spending?
Be real. I- So, what concerns me is that people are not real. People act like the calendar changes every single year because in January, we all know it's the beginning of the year and December is the end. That means you have 12 months to prepare for the Christmas that never changes if you must celebrate holidays. Then you also need to understand what your values are. Um, one of the things about my children that I absolutely love is that they really don't ask me for anything. They don't ask. They are very aware of the work that it is that I do. They know that I'm a single mother. They know what I put out for them every single day. So when the holidays come and I say, how do you want to celebrate? However you want to, mom. Whatever you give me, I'm going to be satisfied. I don't have to spend a lot of money. The most money I've ever spent is on a gaming system or some eyelashes for my daughter. But other than that, they will tell you they will go get those things themselves. I think one of the values of having your children is you need to kind of um, impact them with the idea that they don't have to have everything that they see. Everything that somebody else has is not something that you always want. This is why I'm totally against Black Friday. Like, people make you think, society makes you think that, oh, you got to have the best TV, oh, you got to have the best car, oh, you got to have the best shoes and clothes and whatnot. And none of that makes an individual themselves, because I try to teach my children that you don't want to be like everybody else. You don't have to have what everybody else has. Whatever you get is your own uniqueness. And so
Mm-hmm.
some of the things that we need to teach each other when it's time to go into holidays. What are the holidays? What do they mean to you? Does it mean that you get to sit together, that you get some time off? You get some time to love on each other? Does it mean, oh, we're going to open up gifts that I might not pay attention to later on in the year or the next day? You know, when you're a little kid, the most exciting thing about Christmas is the box, not what's inside it. It's the fact that you see this great big box under the tree and ooh, what is inside? And whatever's inside, you're going to take it out. You're going to play with it that day. And in about 20 days, you're going to get bored. So keep it real. What do your children want? And is it something they want, or do you want to get it because you want to feel better as a parent? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I say keep it real. So I'm going to give my children what I know that they need. And number one is love and a sound mind and awareness. And if we ain't got it, we ain't got it.
Exactly. It ain't got it. I'm gonna play a couple of clips for everybody to get a bit of an idea of a couple of the ways that we're going to take a look at this. If you can't hear, let me know, Miss Walston. Stop! Stop! Yeah. Stop! Get away! Yeah. I never want to talk to you again! Never! Please!
Well, I'm back with Tom and Karen and Tom's mother, Jan. Madison was here, but she got up and left because she said she didn't want to be here. I understand she's willing to come back out now. So, Madison, if you want to come back out, then you can come back out. Why did you leave, by the way?
Because I don't want to be around you.
Why did you decide to come back out?
They talked to me and told me that my sister would be coming back out here with me.
I'm sorry?
They told me my sister would be coming out here with me.
No, that's not true. No, that's not true.
That you were going to talk to me for a couple minutes and she'd come out here.
No, she's not coming out here, and I'm not going to talk to her. So if you came out with that expectation and want to leave, it's okay.
It's okay.
Because that's not what they told you.
It's okay. I'll stay out here.
Yeah. I'm sure they told you I would decide whether to talk to your little sister or not, and my decision is not. At this point, I want to be very clear. This is a dysfunctional family unit. This is not all you.
Yes, sir.
It's not all the little sister. It's not all the kids. It's not all the parents. You guys have created a highly dysfunctional family unit. And my recommendation is going to be very specific, and I'm just a recommender. You guys have to decide what you want to do. You guys have to decide what you want to do. I think this family needs a serious break right now. I think that Madison is out of control. I think she has no respect for boundaries. I think she has no respect for either of you. I think she feels like she can do what she wants to do when she wants to do it. And she just raises enough chaos that she'll get away with it and just leave. And I mean, when the police have been called as many times as they had, and domestic violence charges and all of that, and I've we've spoken to the prosecutors in your county. If for repeat offender, they most likely would deal with her as an adult.
And we see these situations over and over again. Ms. Walston, I see your face. You there? I see your face here, and in situations like this.
So, Stephen, there's two Miss Walstons. There is the mental health licensed professional, and then there is the Miss Walston who has boys and girls that she cares for. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the Miss Walston that cares for her children probably is not going to speak this evening because we would be censored. Mm-hmm.
I need the real Miss Walston.
Listen, I probably need to stop and say the Lord's Prayer. Let me see how I'm gonna do this. Okay, first of all, Lord Jesus, I would have whipped her ass and we wouldn't have got that video. Okay, Dr. Phil wouldn't have got that video. We wouldn't have set up for that thing. Listen, dirt naps are still real. I'm not doing that with somebody that I raised. If you came up out of me or I adopted you, you act like that, you're going to meet your maker, the person that gave you to me. Okay. Because not once I was trying to read the subtitles. I was trying to understand. I was trying to see if maybe she had some mental health going on. And people, please understand, I am a mental health worker and mental health diagnoses are real. But right now, all I saw and was able to assess was attention-seeking behavior that needed to be stopped because it was perpetuated by the parents. If you think you're going to stand there and talk to me like that, honey, you're not even going to breathe. I'm going to make her new race. She lost her mind. She really, and then you came out because you thought you were going to talk to your sister. Mr. LP, you might want to take this one over because no, absolutely not.
Because what's happening is that we feel with the holiday shopping, and this came from a spending incident that she couldn't spend and what have you. And what we're doing.
Hold on. Come back. Tell me again why she was acting like that. Now I need you to tell me why.
She couldn't get her way to go somewhere and spend money, and they told her no.
She kicked her father in the face, threw some type of wire, told her grandmother that she didn't want to be with her, came out to a show where the man is a doctor and she had limited respect and she rolled her eyes and that's why because she couldn't spend.
Oh, trust me, if I saw that type of action, if I saw that, what gets me is if I saw that, first of all, to me, part of me wanted to deck her in the face. I wanted to deck the father, then the mother, then her, because it was just like, I let the grandmother slide. She would have got a whipping. But I mean, it's just that.
Oh, ain't nobody getting no slides. Because the grandma, whoever that mother is, which one of those adults is her children,
she's a generational.
That it's a dysfunctional unit. See, but I think that's just too easy.
Right.
For me.
And then because what we're doing is that we're setting up this aspect that we're going to have all these different things, and we're not teaching them how to deal with our consequences and how we react to money. I tell all the time, when I pose this question online in discussion, it became a hot-blooded subject real fast because someone said, well, how can you teach a 2-year-old or 4-year-old or 7-year-old money? And I'm like, you can teach a lot of things, the respect and how you act towards money. Whatever you have the most in your home is what typically the child is going to respect the most overall. And when you see that you can't have certain things, or the holiday season, everything's not always going to work out. You can spend, you can save, you can do everything else, but there's always going to be some other things going on. And yes, bills will be there. Don't get me wrong, but you have, and you want to try to treat yourself, but there's always a limit. And sometimes it can't be like that. I'd rather sleep in peace. There's a difference in saying I don't have anything, but things are taken care of. I can eat and I have a roof on my head. And I can keep it moving, read a book, watch TV, whatever. Versus I could sit there and try to keep up with the Joneses. And that's a situation that's going on typically. And I will... So I want to show another one that really got me, that I said, you know what, we really have to stop doing better. Miss Parker, thank you so very much for joining us, and anybody else that's watching, thank you. Yes, oh no, she was like, oh yeah, she would never have had that. I knew Miss Parker has heavy hands. That whole family have heavy hands. I do not. I'm scared enough just to sit there and shake the hands, as much as us be slapped with it. So I'm just going to put that out there. Sorry, Miss Parker, to put you out there. I'm just going to let it be known. So,
but I have a question.
Yes,
Before
ma'am.
you show this video, please tell me what we're about to watch and what is happening so that I can fix my face and do right so I can
No.
be objective. Okay?
No.
You're not going to tell
No.
me? Okay,
Can't.
so you just want real me today. Sure, I'll take it.
It's going to be up front. Hey, we our motto of the show is we tell the truth.
Exactly 17 credit cards, and I'm $25,300 in debt. I just like going out and to be able to buy what I want makes me happy. I like BMWs, Mercedes, and like Range Rovers. I just prefer the Mercedes because I like the way they look and they're really cute. I want a baby blue one with ivory interior, convertible, of course, hardtop.
You coming to see the Mercedes?
I wish it was a convertible, but this one's so pretty. You don't have any convertibles?
Well, Joey says her spoiled and entitled 19-year-old daughter, Sherilyn, has blown $130,000, $130,000 living the high life with fast cars, designer bags, clothes, makeup, fine dining. The list goes on.
17.
But Sherilyn says it's not her fault because her lazy, moody, and mean mother raised her to be that way. This is what happened when Rosie Mercado, special correspondent for the doctors, met up with Sherilyn. Take a look.
Hi, Sherilyn. I've heard so much about you from your mom.
How are you doing today?
Meet you. I've heard you like to shop.
I'm young. I love to shop. I love to go out. I love to buy nice things. I mean, I get whatever I want.
You have 189 lipsticks. This is just a small piece. How many lipsticks do you actually use?
Not really that many.
How many brushes do you have here?
About 110.
And how many of these brushes do you actually use?
Probably about 10 or 15 brushes.
Do you think that you're spoiled?
I think I'm spoiled.
Do you blame your mom for that?
I mean, I blame her because growing up, I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to clean my room. Didn't have to do my laundry. I didn't have any chores. I was never disciplined.
Do you appreciate any of the sacrifices that your mom made for you?
No.
You don't?
No.
You have makeup here, makeup there. You have nail polishes and you have perfumes,
Blushes, bronzers, highlighters.
accessories, purses, designer shoes. What happens when you ask your boyfriend Tyler for money and he says no?
I start yelling, screaming, throwing things.
How many credit cards do you have?
17.
And do you owe money on all 17?
All of them are maxed out completely.
Do you pay any of those credit cards
No.
when the bills come in? What do you do with the bills?
I just throw them away.
You've gone as far as pawning family heirlooms when it comes to your mom.
I mean, I do, but I don't really care.
What have you pawned from your mom?
Took her jewelry from her and I went to the pawn shop and
You took her jewelry or you stole her jewelry?
stole it.
And how much money did you get for that?
Only about $300 per ring.
And how much was that worth to your mom?
Priceless.
You went to Disney World. It's like the happiest place on earth. And you were upset because you didn't get fine dining.
Correct. Yeah, my mom was eating a fish fillet and I pushed it in her face.
On your 18th birthday, you got a BMW gifted to you by your parents.
Correct.
Were you excited about it? Were you happy about it?
I was happy about it, but I would have preferred a Mercedes over it.
You don't feel like your mom and Tyler, they're just fed up of seeing you spend money.
I don't really care.
Okay, you've been watching the show so far, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about your behavior as it's played back to you?
I don't know. She needs to stop playing the victim. Why are you crying right now? I'm not crying. She had sex. She had a kid. Like, she grew me up, didn't she?
Go ahead. Don't you dare bite your tongue on me. Don't you dare bite your tongue on me.
I'm going to channel Malcolm X because he said when you use profanity, you're limiting yourself to your education and articulation. Okay. Number one, that child's entire situation is her mother's fault. It is absolutely her mother's fault. I know that sometimes you get to a certain age, you're supposed to be aware and all of this, okay? The problem is she didn't raise her child, okay? Whatever her emotional childhood trauma was, whatever the mother went through, it is a reflection on how she tried or made an attempt to raise her child. We are beyond boundaries, okay? Absolutely beyond boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
My children are spoiled rotten. Let me say it again, rotten.
Not
But
like
I will
this.
take out their uvula if they ever spoke like that. Do you hear me? If my children's attitude, and they get sassy. Let's not even act like my children are perfect, okay? But that 13 credit cards, you're throwing away bills, so that means you taught the child no value.
17.
Yeah, you taught the kids no value. You didn't teach them any value. Secondly, the mother, I think she was crying. And the fact that she was crying is because she should be realizing you created this monster. Okay. It's not about money. It's about the values and morals you teach these kids, because everybody's poor before anything happens in their life. When you're a child, you don't know anything about money. You don't know anything about, oh, a dollar here, a dollar there. You know whether or not somebody is going to give you something. You learn these, and if we're looking at a psychoanalytic theory, where you're looking at the stages of birth, the oral, the anal, the all of those stages you go through. You nurture a child, you love a child, you hold a child, you hug a child. When they're crying, if you have satisfied all those children's needs, then guess what they have to learn how to do? Cry it out. Because they've been satisfied. So if every time that child is crying or stomping and you're giving them something because you don't want to deal with the crying, you have the issue. Okay. If my kids were crying and I have done all of the things I was supposed to do, guess what was going to happen? I'll be in the other room and you'll figure it out and take a nap. And I don't care how anybody feels about that on this air. If I've done what I'm supposed to do, because we don't get handbooks with a child, I'm not going to give a child something so I can be okay. That's what it looks like. It looks like we are appeasing these children so we don't have to deal with the headaches, so we don't have to have the conversations, so we don't have to make the boundaries, so we don't have to stop the dysfunction, okay? Because we don't feel like we stick our kids in front of video and TVs so they can play video games because we're tired. Well, like she said, you lay down, you had the baby, now raise us.
Exactly.
That's audacity. Okay.
All right. So it's crazy how all of that goes. And let me go back to a little bit here when it comes to the money and the impact of the money in the holiday season and what corporate world has done to us and our families in correlation to this. And 2000, of course, we had the inflammation begin to rise because of COVID. We got that part. In 2021, it was approximately over 7% over year to year. At the end of the year, the highest in the last 4 decades. It peaked up to in 2022. It peaked up to over 9%, and before gradually moderating towards the end of the year. Okay. I also want people to realize that people kept wanting to say the Biden administration, blah blah blah. They're the ones in office trying to resolve it when it's the previous administration that created it. And the tax breaks or whatever, and none of the rules are the rules that the Trump administration have relaxed. So keep that in mind. It started showing a leveling around 2023 when it was around 5% mid of last year. Now, cost of living impact, we saw home prices going up to 20%, in some cases almost 40%. Using Richmond, for example, there's a lot of homes that were $265,000 are now almost $480,000. So, which is just ridiculous. But then down the street here, the prices may have only went up 3%. Down in Petersburg or Colonial Heights, you'll see in some areas, but mostly in a lot of the cities and the rural areas outside of cities, I have just went crazy. The price of food has went over the same percent. We've seen the rise and falls of eggs, people going to farms now. We saw what happened, just about over 10 to 15%. Bacon that was like two something now and we're seeing 10%, but we've seen in other areas. I think that's just overall nationally, but we've seen in the hard hit impact areas, especially up and down here the corridor in 95, we've seen double. We see bacon pack up already. Bacon went from 289 to 475, $6. And things, and wage has not kept up because obviously I think we wouldn't have cared, we wouldn't not liked it, but we wouldn't have cared if wages went up. If wages went up 15-20%, okay, you know, you wouldn't be. So those are the type of things, and we've seen in these shareholder meetings that they want to keep using an excuse to say death is high, all these other issues, immigration, illegal immigrants, all these different things, undocumented citizens. These are not the issues because it's the same numbers, if not lower, but it's used as a tool to dissuade consumers and everybody else. And they're literally on these calls, and it's been documented, laughing that we brought it. We brought into the Trump lies and all these other different things, and they laughing and they rather keep on going with it just because of that. And it's a shame how that has gone on to go. Now, in terms of holiday spending, in 2020, the e-commerce, of course, went up, and it went up to over 40% of the total holiday sales. In 2021, went up for $1 trillion. But then our debt has, you know, skyrocketed as well around that time. And we also know that what Trump did to the national debt as well. Now this year, they're still talking about well over, maybe not even trillion, but may go only, instead of 1.1 trillion, it may dip down to $850 billion, which is still way too high. And we should not have this amount of money going into it. And then now we're still having people having to make the decision between essential and non-essential spending. Also, we need to look into to help ease this is go into small businesses and start spending, particularly in the minority-owned businesses, to help out, and also mom and pop shops to help, you know, doing different things, valuing more personalized items, unique gifts versus, you know, everybody got a 60-inch TV. Okay, it's not a big deal.
No, they don't.
You know, I mean, I'm just saying that it's not a big deal that we have to have a 60, 70-inch TV in every room. I may want one in every room, but I can't. You know, it doesn't make logical sense. And also the spending of everything else. You know, sentiment, economic reports, all these different things that need to go out there. I want people to realize some things for as they, you know, we always try to provide some information for people to understand where to go. So first and foremost, I want people to, when they need some information, I want them to understand, and I'm going to pop it in here on the screen here, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics for the latest CPI data and inflation rates. Now, I think there's such a thing as underemployed that they don't capture. Sure, a lot of people are working. That don't mean they got enough money for everything because of the rates. So that's something that I need for people to be more aware of. Another stat that I think people need to be understand a little bit more is, let's pull you up here. National Retail Federation for updated holiday spending and trends and consumer behavior analysis. This is a good thing to sit down, and really is a very good website to sit down and go over it with your children and your families to understand how money is being spent and how the holiday season. And once you take a look at this and see how it's being spent, you'll really be surprised on how much money is being wasted in terms of your total family spending and things. You'd really be surprised. We have the Federal Reserve for insights on monetary policy and how money really works. A lot of people got a lot to say, but a lot of people really don't understand how the law and money really works and its impact on inflation and your household budget. It also compares to see how budget was actually spent, you know, in your parents' time, 80s, 90s, going on as your kids and now as adults. And it really gives you some things. And also there's the market research for companies. Let's pull them up real quickly for you. We have Nielsen, Statista, excuse me, and McKinsey for comprehensive reports and spending on economic trends. Those are some very good sites to learn and see how things are going.
I have a
Go from there.
question.
Go ahead.
So the things that you have provided as resources, are these easy to read tools? Are these things where you need to be able to be knowledgeable into pulling this information up? Like, so I hear what you're saying, but I want to know the average family who's already struggling with economic hardships. You give them this website. You say, oh, sit down with your kids who are hungry, who are struggling. You worked like 18 hours that day, and now you want me to tell you how this works. I just want to know, is this literate enough for other people to understand and say, you know what, I'm going to do that? Because I want to know, is there a better way for us to do it if they're not going to do it?
Yes and no. First of all,
Okay.
I hear you, but this is where education is involved. Okay.
Right.
Because here, if you continue, stuff is going to be written a certain way. And what was the old saying? If you want to hide it from people of color, especially Black people, put it in a book.
Put it in the book.
And here, put it on the website. So understand how money works. Everything is not just, and this is what goes back to what I'm saying. Everything is not always going to be rosy petals to make it easy for you. Everything is not going to be put in the joke for whoever your local or favorite comedian to say in order for you to understand to get the joke. The whole need to be entertained or dumbed down and things, we have to stop that. Okay. At some point in time, we need to raise our level. And I'm not saying this as an indictment to you, but I'm saying this as an indictment to our Black community as a whole, and then other communities as well, or even our lower income communities as a whole. Why do we always have to eat? Say it again.
I'd say so, but what I'm asking is, so I'm not saying for people to dumb it down, but I look at America as a whole. America doesn't know how to budget. Look at our deficit. So we're going to use tools and resources to teach our families how to budget. And they're not literate enough to understand the budget, because as long as they can keep a lie going, then they can go ahead, spend.
Right, but we have to start. But we have to start young. But here's the pushback I have for it. Just like how it's easy when they tell you to teach your kids how to swim, write, numbers, languages, all these things. You start them off as babies because it's easier to process when you're growing up versus when you already have your mind set on things. If you start off young, so if we make it easy, and then you keep teasing everything on easy mode, everything will always be on easy mode. And this is why we can't function unless it's on easy mode. Okay. At some point in time, we're going to have to step it up. Just like I tell everybody, it's a cell phone. Well, we got to make a call. Is there an easier way? We can't keep dialing the thing back. At some point in time, I'm not asking us to be everybody to be financial experts, money people. No. But, the simple things, balancing your money, reading a certain stat of FAs of how this works, how your money is being spent from year to year. These are basic things, okay, that we
individuals.
Right. Individual and your family that you should be able to pick up and that you need to learn. Okay. As if I do not know how to read, okay, if I do not understand a word, I pick up a dictionary. Okay. Dictionary is good. Basically, whether you're a wordsmith or not, it's the basic thing out there. Okay. So so you have to, am I going to sit there and say, well, I don't know how to, I'm illiterate, so I need something else. What further lowered can you get than a dictionary? What further lowered than I get than a pen and paper and show down 1 + 1 and show the numbers of math? You can't get any lower. Okay. At some point in time, we have to put our foot down and say enough is enough. That we have to, we have to uplift. Why should I raise myself down to lift you up?
Respectfully, you've got to meet some people where they are.
I am, and we're giving you a dictionary.
No, okay. See, so what I sometimes see is that you just want people to conform because people have dumbed down a lot of things. I get it. I'm in agreement.
I'm just saying that they got to do better. We can't keep.
We all have to do better, but we all have to be realistic. Is what I'm saying. Okay, so I get that information you gave is outstanding. What I'm saying is, how do we, as the people who might be considered a little bit more educated, who know the resources, help those? Why can't we meet them where they are? Why can't we have smaller seminars and break down information so that it is more feasible? Like I'm trying to understand.
I have no problem with seminars and webinars. I'm just saying that with your
Not
question,
webinars and seminars. I mean, like, so okay, in family, you got little cousins, okay? Like, so all your little cousins get together and we play Monopoly. And in Monopoly, you are educating people, like things like that. Because what I don't want to do is scare people and make them think, oh, if you're not going to do this, you're always going to be at the bottom of the pole, okay? There's not, and I want to be realistic about the people that are going to go on these websites and understand what they're seeing right now. We're damaged, we're focused. We've got to meet some people where they are that want to learn. There are tons of people that want to know how to better their finances. But we also need to start in these families so they can understand. Just because you're impoverished doesn't mean that it's over. There are ways to learn this skills and manage this. And even if it's paycheck to paycheck, at least you'll know. Prioritizing, morals. There's things that come before this literacy.
I know, I understand that. But I pull, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that, you know, we can't. If we're gonna bake, if I do not know how to cook, okay, and we're gonna start step by step. What each tool is used for, what type of stove, and everything else. I get that, okay. So, but now we can't sit there and say, "Hey, I gotta talk to you about why do we need to cook, eat and things like that." So you gotta starve. Or how is it being cooked? Whether I get to a fast food or a restaurant or in the kitchen at home, how are we gonna cook? You at some point we got to start somewhere. Yeah, even if we got to start at a plastic knife, we got to start somewhere.
I'm going to teach somebody how to cook. Let's say my daughter, for instance. If her and her friends can't cook, we're gonna have a pajama party.
Correct. And we have a cookie lesson. I get that.
We'll have a cookie lesson.
But you gotta take the step to go to that. But what you're saying is that we're saying pajama party, but the way you're saying is I need to go there and buy them the pajamas to come pick them up to then go to the pajama party.
Absolutely not. I'm saying take the horse, walk with them, lead them to the water. You won't have to drink it. All I'm saying is for young people right now. And then there's a lot of us older people that don't even understand how this function works. Okay. Like we're talking about inflation. I think it was quite wonderful that you gave an explanation of inflation. Like I would have picked up the Coca-Cola can and said, in 1975, 10 cents. Today, $2.75. That same exact Coke can. Inflation. You see?
Right, but the thing is, but what I'm trying to do is tie it to. I want to take that simple thing, but then at the same time tie it to how it really works in an everyday scenario. See, what happens is that I'm a little bit different in terms of that. We all grew up book, border, this, that, and the other, but we did not enough schools or our parents, whether or life or friends, family, community, whether you knew or not, there was not enough. Okay, how do we do everyday application? And what I'm trying to do is not only give you the definition, the words, because it's used every day, and how does it apply in our daily lives and things, and giving real world examples. So when it's in front of your face, you're not blown over. It's not too much of a shock. And then answer your first question, excuse me. How does the site read? So I pulled up the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay, let's do this. Now, we always go back to quarter previously. We can't do real life right now. It takes usually the quarter before that. So usually they try to read maybe the second quarter. January, February is March 1st. April, May, June the 2nd. And so forth. So
do people know what a fiscal year is? Do people understand how this works?
Yeah. Well, this didn't say fiscal year, but this is showing what have you. So what right now is giving August for up to 6 days and down into, and it's breaking it down. So
Okay.
if I click on the chart, it gives you a web page, a PDF, and a chart, graph chart to show you how it is. Full-time wage salary workers median weekly earnings are 1165 in the third quarter of 2024. Okay. So now if I click that article, okay, without extra graphics, without extra anything else, it just gives it to the plain as day, simple reading. How much this person earns, how much this difference is. So I'll read a paragraph. Among major race and ethnicity groups, median earnings of Hispanics who work full-time, $904, were lower than those of blacks, $962. Whites, $1,184. Asians, $1,565. Okay. I don't know how basic, mundane, plain English that is.
Okay, so do me a favor. Tell me what you would tell me to do with that information that you just read in that paragraph. Tell me. So if you are educating me on this, tell me why that is important to me and what I need to do with that.
Okay. It's important to you so you know what is your overall comparison of as a whole throughout the U.S. This is how much money on average that you're earning in comparison to other groups. Okay. And how take that in terms of what they say on the previous page, how much you need to earn in the daily, on how much we need to earn on a monthly basis to survive, to be able to pay your bills on an average. If you meet this level, you're okay. If you're below, you're not. And it's showing that how much on over the racial breakdown of how much each group is earning and whether you're below or meet it. So now we saw that for, and I didn't pull up the number, but on average, mostly whites and Asians are earning above it, and blacks and Hispanics are earning below. So this either means we need to earn, now this is as an individual, this means, okay, what we need to do to earn more and what we need to earn, how do we need to do more education or what have you. Now, if on average, it said blacks is earning $904 a week on average. Now, if you're in a home, and we'll just use Richmond, for example, the average rent is $1,600 for a one bedroom. Now, obviously, we don't make enough. So you got to earn 2 times, 2 months worth of rent, just about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks just to make it 3 weeks. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have 2 people in a home earning that amount, okay, you can earn it in a week's worth of pay. And the rest of the weeks, you can do whatever else you want. Now, that makes it easy. Now, unfortunately, we know majority of families and individuals not even earning that. If you take minimum wage, you're still not earning that. With $15 after 40 hours, 600 or so, and then take the taxes out, and medical and everything else, we're not getting it. So that's what's hurting and things. And you see where it says, the rise of goods is up 0.2%. So that means if you saved more than 2.2% of your money from the previous quarter, you can make it and you have enough money. If it dived and you still earn that much, you still now have 0.2% more money in your income for rainy day savings, whatever, or purchase whatever you need for food. So these are just different things that can go up, and it breaks it down. Also, geographical breaks it down by state, breaks it down by subject, breaks it down by the region. So if you're a family that's moving, how much do I need to earn and what have you? Now, I do not consider Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, mid-Atlantic region. I don't know why they do that. That's Northeast, but either way, it gives you a comparison per state. And how
how do you educate them to save for that rainy day? So your first statement was, your income will probably cover the basic bills in the first 1 to 2 weeks. How do you educate them to save that last 2 weeks? How do you let them know that is supposed to go to a rainy day? That does need to start.
Easy. I can show them how what has happened in the previous years around this time of the year, the money the inflation rates or certain goods have gone up and down. So if you don't have it, we need to prepare so you can have it. We can also show them prepare what it may potentially look at like in the future. And also we could compare, now this may be going to, for those who may not be initiated, we could talk about different tax plans per governor. We hear about the presidents, but you still got your tax plans for the governors of your state and the city and or your county, wherever you live. So how does that affect? And then it also shows your latest numbers on payroll employment. What is the average of what's going on of money up and down? Do you need to look for another job? This is why they tell you every 2 to 3 years, look for another job to improve your money and your increase in your skills, those type of things. What does your employment cost index? Meaning, what does it cost the business? And they always say, and as you can see, the numbers is always good, but then they make this profit and they don't want to give it back to you. You know, so all these different things, and we can compare it to what it was previously, the economic news. So there's a variety of different things that this chart, this site could show you. It could also show you the weather. So we see how the weather, most recent Milton and Helene, has hurt certain, employment wages as things. So if you live in Florida and you know there's a hurricane major every other year that's going to cause some damage, what you need to save for financially until you can go back to work. What did it look like 2 years ago? Things. So these are very good tools and things that can help uplift, that could give you what you need. And
okay, so
bare bones.
So during inflation, if what you stated is correct about the inflation that we're talking about, and people are following these economic standards, if the inflation continues to worsen and they're still getting the same wage, how do they apply those principles to exactly what you're talking about? If the pay never goes up and inflation does, and like right now, the costs are worse, how are they being able to plan and be more financially savvy?
So you have to start looking at different things to change. So now here's what we to your thing. So I'm going to share this. I was already prepared, right?
Listen. So and then maybe this was supposed to be our conversation. This is how this is supposed to go this evening. I'm ready for it. I'm feeling it. Go ahead.
See, this is the beauty of I enjoy this, because we have a plan and we try not to go too much off topic, but we come to an issue that needs to be explained, and I have no problem.
Right.
So this is here. We need to create a holiday budget. Okay. We need to
So
set.
why is there a holiday budget that needs to be created? Is there a world that we can say we don't need the holiday budget? The budget is the yearly budget. And, because, we can present that. Like, we should not. Okay, go ahead.
No, you're correct. But I'm going off of your words and saying that because, see, you said the average person who needs to come meet them where they are. The person where they are, they don't know yearly budget. They know holiday budget.
Exactly. Okay, and birthday budgets, and gender reveal budget, and baby shower budget, and sneaker budget. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, so I'm following your words. I'm trying to make sure I listen to what you're saying. So we have that. We have spending limits. Okay, this is what we have. You cannot go anymore, and understand that if you do this, we have to pull something from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Okay, categorize your spending. We all have what we want, but there's the needs and the requirements. Okay. Mm-hmm. Track your spending. This is a very big thing. This is a sore issue with me. We have all the apps in the world. We have all the banking, give you all the tools in the world. You have your own calculator. You have spreadsheets. There's everything in the world. Even if you don't track it, you just have to log in on your phone, on the bank accounts and your apps, and they track it for you. Okay. There's no excuse for you not knowing how to track your money. That's just the way it is. I'm not so big on a gift list, but and then also I do believe you pay in cash so you can save your interest and things, or straight up money up front. Start savings early. We all know about shopping early. And then we can go some more in terms of these things. Avoid impulse buying. Understand what's a want and a need. We could also talk about DIY, do it yourself gifts. Those are very good things to do. And we all remember getting Christmas card at schools with the construction paper and everything else and all that type of stuff. So those are very big, and take advantage of your reward points. All those things are very important. And stuff. So those are some of the things that goes to your question. Hopefully I answered, but to how it's simple of a breakdown that we can actually do to make it easier for those who may not be understanding.
Okay, fair enough. I see the education. But I do, even with all of this going on, and we want to educate them. I also think it's very important that sometimes we should teach them to just say no. Okay.
Well, yeah, oh yes, of course, and that's the basic thing. Just say no, and then tell these corporations no, because
No,
we're not going to spend that money. We're not going to do these things because it's just too much, and we
these
need to do.
designers, these different things, like it. No, like I don't know who deems certain things in fashion to be wonderfully fashioned, and t-shirts are $700. I don't know. I have no idea, because I feel like the thrift store and the Goodwill is just as good as Short Pump, and I'm not going to Short Pump. Okay, I don't feel better in $1,000 t-shirt than I do in the t-shirt that's in my bed. I don't know. So number one, we need to figure out why that is. Why do we need to spend that money?
And what gets me is that now there's $1,000 t-shirts and there's $1,000 t-shirts. Okay, there's the
I
$1,000
don't know
t-shirt.
what that means.
Okay, and I'll tell you why. There's the t-shirt because here's what: when you have certain items, it costs more to take care of. So it could be $1,000 t-shirt just because somebody rapper wore it on TV and they're gonna jump the hype of the cost and say it's $700,000 t-shirt. And then there's the $1,000 t-shirt that's made with Egyptian cotton or whatever, but those things need to be hand washed. They can be dry cleaned. They cost more warlike, whatever. They're more delicate, cost more, much more to take care of. Just like how you can't wear necessarily the same suit or the same $1,000 sneakers every day, whatever you wear them out. And things because it takes more to maintain your higher end clothes, and you save them for more important things when you need them. So when you get certain things, it costs more. Just like how you have a BMW, your oil change is not going to be $25. Okay, so
I'm not going to buy a BMW because I understand when I buy a BMW, there's maintenance,
right,
there's insurance. See,
exactly.
It's those pieces of information that I'm talking about.
Right,
I'm
that's
not
what
going
I'm.
to
That's
get-
what.
yeah. Okay.
That's why I'm saying there's a whole bunch of different things, like such as when I got this big house. Okay, you got the big house, but it costs more to maintain the big house. You're not going to have $150 electric bill in that big house. You're going to have a $400 electric bill in that big house. And now you're not utilizing the rooms and all these other things. You can't drive 20 cars. Okay, it's assurance of all those different things, so all these things is maintenance, upkeep, whatever, and letting the car sit causes more damage to the car too, just as much. So there's a lot of things that we have to pay attention to that goes into it. One of the things I want to also, and I'm not going to keep the show much longer, but one of the things I want to get into is also shopping, supporting small businesses instead of the big businesses.
Okay.
Because we need to understand that this is what helps keep the economy going. We talk about a lot about small businesses and middle class economy, but we're not doing that because we're not shopping small businesses. And I want to give you the information on the impact. I had it up on my screen and I clicked off on it, so please forgive me. But I want to talk to us about. I want to show the impact of supporting small businesses. First and foremost, is about job creation. We why we don't have as many kids working because we don't have small businesses working. We don't have those who are coming out of supportive services, mental health, health facilities. Jails and prisons, first-time job people who are mentally or physically challenged. These are jobs from small businesses, okay, and we're not employing them. So we're not supporting small businesses. We can't employ these people and things that are people in need. Also, it helps a unique culture. Where use Petersburg, for example. This region is very thriving on the arts, but we're not spending time and the money on the arts. I have a wonderful friend that does the Little Touch by G, does wonderful murals and other art things. Her and her friends do a great job, but we're not supporting. We don't give the attention to the art community. And, we're not spending, we're not providing funds for our community. And we need to stop with, we got to have all this money, the budget, this paperwork, whatever. That's not what the art community has. Okay. You don't have enough money coming in to say we need to have this much budget in order to get this. We need the money to get there. So we need to have a little bit more understanding how that works. And also it improves community well-being. When your community thrives, your social economic status and the community and your family thrives. Those are the type of things. It keeps the money in the neighborhood. So now you see the money going to work that goes to your taxes, that goes to the schools. It's a local multiplier effect where local businesses profit likely to spend on local goods and services. That's the trickle down theory there, not the stupid Reagan thing. Also improves your tax revenue. And thus the city and county and your state are not more than likely to tax the community anymore if you get in some local small businesses thriving and putting money into taxes. It reduces your corporate dominance in the area. So when you have a diverse economy, the corporate world is not necessarily pressured. Well, not pressured. They're not coming in saying, ha, we're taking over and things. So if you have a local area that has a bunch of local furniture stores, you're not going to see so much piano and Bassett and whatever all around because you got people willing to buy the furniture from your local businesses. It's sustainability and environment. Now you're not building big businesses, and now you can keep that little park in the area, not have it torn down for the Best Buy or the whatever store because you're providing. If you have we talk about food deserts, but if you actually have good local grocery stores that get good healthy foods and things, then you're okay. But we don't have that. The corner store option is not good. We're using Family Dollars and Dollar Trees and Family Dollar, Dollar General, and Dollar Tree as your local grocery stores for your foods. When that started happening, I'm not picking on people who shop there. Don't get me wrong. If you're shopping there, God be the glory. But I've always had a problem when Dollar General and Family Dollars are now providing eggs and groceries, and I can see little quick things here and there. But now people are shopping their $200 budgets of food there to get more money, and that bothers me. And in society, we are wrong for that.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
You're not getting flexibility of the options of foods. Typically, you're not getting the foods that provide more nutrients. We're definitely not getting foods that are akin to your cultural identity. That's why you see Latin foods, Asian foods, more foods that helps towards indigenous cultures in some grocery stores. That's provide items from your native culture.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask because I'm gonna tip in. So I've been to Walmart, and their fruits and vegetables don't seem any better than the Dollar General and the Family Dollar. I've gone to some food lines, and they're not that great. Kroger is leaning to the left. Publix has some very good stuff. Let me tell you what the good groceries are: Whole Foods, Wegmans. They have wonderful foods and fruits and things for different cultures.
But
So
they're not invited but they're not in the massive of areas and things like we see
exactly how are we shopping? You're talking about Dollar General and Family Dollar and all those things. How are we shopping? I don't have transportation to get from there.
Right.
If I live in Petersburg, I am subjected to what it is that I have and I can get a hold of. So now is the issue the Dollar General, or is the issue the city that is not letting us thrive and building more businesses that are better for the people who populate it?
Both.
Okay.
Because
so let's not pick on just the Dollar General.
I was going there. That's what I keep in mind. I've already stated the big corporate businesses, and we talked about the food prices. So we've already addressed that. I'm saying, and again, I'm not picking again. I am not picking on anybody that shops there, okay? Because that's maybe what you have. You have what you have, okay? Now, there's a difference between have what you have versus I don't know any better. If you don't know, you don't know. That's a second issue. But I do believe it's more of we have what we have, and you're doing the best what you can. So I think it's important that these stores we demand better. I saw in some locations, I saw fruit chips, the dried snacks for all these vegetables and fruits and things. They were great. And I saw those at those some Dollar Generals and Family Dollars, and you start seeing them more and more. Five Below have some healthy snacks now, but a dried what is it? Peas, carrots, all those different things, banana chips, whatever. So we're starting to see more and more, and if we start demanding more, and the price is going to get better.
Aldi's good for that. I will say Aldi has some nice selections, but you know what else is great? You know, sometimes, you know, a boxed garden of just like selective things that you teach people how to do. A community garden, you know, and planting an apple tree, some cherries. I'm just saying, there's some things that we can do as a community.
Right. And you know, for a good friend of mine, Natalie K. Hodge, hosted about planning and Lord Jesus, I forgot the term, but planting basically is planting fruits and vegetables in your balcony, in your backyard, in pots and other things that we get back to it with VPM. And that was a very good segment. I do recommend we check it out. So those are different types of things there. And also local businesses, you know, by having these things, the additional benefits is also with local businesses, allowing you to be more flexible. And with the community are better able to, when you have communication, you have stronger relationships. Now your community can respond better to the needs of that community. For example, if there's a hopefully never again, but we all know nature happens, what good man decides, but hurricane comes over, what have you. If you know this community is this certain senior group, this healthy community, we now know what we could tell from a regional and a national market. We need more here because this is what our community has. You know, they don't know a certain area in the community has more students with autism and there's certain levels of food that somebody may be able to eat. We don't know. But by having that and that communication, it helps. When you sit there, just like how if I'm back in the day when the power went out or we had massive floods, we can go out there. Somebody can go to the Army, the rescue, the National Guard. Hey, what's going on? Miss Johnson here, Addison here, you know, Miss Blake here. We got 7 kids that live in this house. We need to account. You know, you have that communication. You know what's going on in the community. Who lives where? Who's sick? Who's in a wheelchair? What have you? When you have that communication, it's the same thing works in our community and our spending and what works in that community.
I agree. So yes, we do need to communicate but then we just need to know. We need to get some of our old habits back. Okay, we've got all this new stuff, and we're so inundated with like social media and restaurants and whatnot. Some of us don't even know how to cook. Some of us can't even fry or boil water or an egg. Some of us have never milked a cow. I think we just need to have some of our old principles too. Some of the things that we used to like to get from the country. See, I love the country. Now, city folks, I will say this: people in New York, when I visit my family, I love it. They have fresh fruits, vegetables, things are outside. It's wonderful in all communities, even if the liquor store is down the street. But you're not going to find it. I think like Petersburg has like a fresh farmers market. Like, I don't know if they still do it after COVID, but they used to have like once like a month or something. They'd have like fresh foods and stuff. Like that needs to be a part of who we are. So
Indeed. So let's before we go, we gotta do our word to wind it down. We're gonna
we're going. We finished the children. Listen, you left me off with the child who was okay. You threw me off, Stephen. Okay, I'll take it tonight.
Well, you know, we have a time limit. I try to respect people's time.
Oh
And
no,
thank
no, listen. She just told me she was taking an Uber. Okay. So
okay, cool. We doing good. We doing good. But I want to. I was going to go in more about the corporate and our children, but I want to be fair. Was what we promised. Um, so we're going to do our word of the week
okay.
in things and say.
I got it.
So our word of
Okay.
the week is obfuscate. Now I'm going to say I'm going to play the for those who don't know, I've had a lot of dental and gum surgery this year. So it's played a little bit of game here and there on trying to get things to tell the swelling and bones and all the other stuff come calm down. So do bear, please forgive me on something.
You speak well. You're very articulate and always have been. That
Thank you
is
so
it.
very kindly. It's just soreness here and here. It just gets me. But here's our word for the day.
Obfuscate.
Obfuscate. I can't get my tongue up in the thing.
Obfuscate.
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 You got it?
Obfuscate.
Obfuscate. Now, what do you think that word means? I had it up on the screen real fast, but what do
You
you
already
think?
saw it. Unclear and intelligible. I saw it.
Is
Obfuscate. So you already know that I'm looking for a Trump sentence because I'm sure that's all I can think of. And yeah, I'm sorry. We've got 19 days. You better hurry up and turn the show off before I go in. So obfuscate. Let's see.
You got to use it in a sentence.
Obfuscate. Unintelligible. Oh, you go first. Like, you go first. Obfuscate. Okay. Trump. Let's start off with that. Trump's.
Come on.
Attempt to explain his economic plans are often obfuscated. Did I say it right? Obfuscated. And ain't nothing wrong with my mouth. Obfuscated. Is that correct? Did I say that right?
Obfuscated.
Obfuscated. I love this. I just need you to know, I'm going to bed with this like playing in my ear on YouTube. Obfuscated. Okay. Is that right? Did I do that right?
Oh, just about. Try another one.
Yeah, I just want to because unintelligible. I'm not doing this again because I don't know. Because as soon as I get to the word, I feel like obfuscated. Intelligible. My ability to utilize this new word has been obfuscated. Okay. I don't know. It's unclear. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a very good job. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
We talked about money and things. I'm going to this is not a shameless plug. It's a plug, but it's not a shameless plug.
Lord,
I wrote a book last year regarding money and investing, and I have an ebook for those who are interested for children. But I want to put this book out here called "The Viability of Alternative Investing." We're gonna have a volume 2 coming out soon, but really would like for y'all to buy the book. It's 19 paperback and $29, $28.99 hardcover. Now, this book shows it is good for families overall, and it's dedicated to my grandmother. But it's a book about teaching wealth, overlooked aspects of alternative investing, dispelling myths, and also offers a lot of different discipline tools and information to help overcome financial obstacles. I do believe this would be a great book. And I would tell everybody that please support, because when we first put this book out last year, and this was the big time when Florida and the South was very big on banning Black books or anything else. Unfortunately, I got demonetized on Facebook, and I am no longer able to do ads. I'm permanently banned for life to be able to do ads on Facebook. Because when I put this book out, of course, sales, whatever, and things didn't happen, but everybody kept clicking. Bad book. We're inspiring racial hate, this, that, and the other, and it didn't. That wasn't the case. But then when I asked our community to please comment, support the book, show her whatever it was, didn't get that. And unfortunately, so it was hard to prove to Facebook that it wasn't such, because I had, well, to all this racial hate and not one person commenting saying, maybe, I'm sorry, maybe a couple, but not saying anything about what have you. And then we had no reviews on Amazon. So now, and luckily I was able to keep the book up on Amazon and things like that, but it's all information.
I got you.
You know, real information is all vetted, supplied,
I
and everything.
got you.
But please purchase the book. It is on Amazon. Again, it's the viability of alternative investing. I think that if you spend the time to take a look at this book, you will find a great opportunity to learn a whole bunch that can help you and your family. It'll be a great book.
Okay. I supported you. I got the book. It's on its way. It'll be here tomorrow.
Thank you so very kindly. Appreciate it.
You are absolutely welcome.
Thank you. So, your final thoughts for today's show, Queen?
I want to go back to the maturing that last child, but that's fine. I know we're about to go. That's fine.
That's no
Listen,
problem.
my final thought for today is I absolutely enjoy the dialogue of us going back and forth about inflation, financial responsibility, understanding finances, and Christmas. I am not happy that we did not finish talking about them little bad children with these cars and whatnot and these entitlements. And no, they don't need Christmas. They might not need tomorrow. But I just feel like this, that I don't think that they should be on shows. I think it fosters that behavior. It's kind of like that little girl. Remember her? She was, meet me outside, catch me outside. I can't remember what she was, but I wanted to smack fire out of her face.
She's making but she's rich now. She's got 20-30 million making money on OnlyFans.
Exactly. For that ignorance. That's what we should be concerned about. And guess what? And she's going to buy everything, not care how she spends her money, not care how she speaks, not ever educate herself. She is going to teach others that I can be ignorant and rich. So I'm never reading a book. So Dr. Phil, whoever, should not be putting people like that on their show. I'm not doing that. Send them to therapy. Tell them come holler at me for a second. We'll never make it.
Think because, well, the only reason why I wouldn't mind is because the fact that people think we make this stuff up. It's not real. And unfortunately, we people are visual. We can say whatever.
We know people do this. We know we go to the grocery store. Okay. We've seen kids act like that. You've never gone in a grocery store and looked at a child act up in front of their parents.
But they don't. But when we talk about these gifts of cars and things, we're like, how many videos you see where a kid mad because she got a? We saw kids tons of times on social media for the last 20 years about they get cars for the Sweet 16 and they don't get anything,
and they don't like the car that they getting.
Right.
So neither one of my children have cars. You know how my first child got his car? We sat down. He got a job. He had a savings. He was able to get a job, and I co-signed for the car. He had to make his own payments for his insurance and the car. And when he was able to build up his credit, guess what? He bought his own car. That's responsibility. Not buying a 16-year-old car and you can barely see. We're seeing these stories of people who have it to give it to those children. And even those people that have it to give it to those children need to think about not giving it to those children. What is it? Is it Warren Buffett who doesn't allow his children to borrow money from him? Because I love that. Not borrowing money. Go work. And he's rich. I'm sorry. I went on it.
No, go ahead. Continue.
I'm just saying, some of these issues are created by us. We make these kids. Mm-hmm. You've got to demand certain things. You can't give kids stuff and be like, oh, my bad. Okay. Check yourself and see what it is that you're missing. See what trauma you have endured that you need to live vicariously through your child's life because you were poor or you didn't get or somebody didn't love you enough. Christmas is not the issue. It's just how you think things should happen in this world realistically, period.
Mm-hmm. I got one more for you and things because I had 4 of these, but I'm going to
Can I show me another one?
Yeah, I'm going to show you another one because this was like, let me see here. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. I already had it. Okay. And there we go.
What you're seeing now is the work of a spoiled kid. According to multiple sources, a 12-year-old boy destroyed their entire house, smashing every item in sight, demolishing every room, all because his mother was said to have taken away his phone.
It really sucks. I have to make a video to prove that this damage that was done to my life is real.
What has this generation become? Just look at how badly he wrecked their own bathroom. And because of his supposed anger over not being given his phone, he even smashed his mother's laptop for work. Think about how we're raising today's kids, because I truly believe we're growing a generation of spoiled zombies who cannot live without phones or tablets. Many people are so afraid of being labeled strict parents in these woke times that we have started to treat kids like they're untouchable. And probably that is why this video has made millions angry, because millions of parents out there agree with what I just said. But Night Fam, there is something hidden in this video. Because while I still believe everything I just said about spoiled kids, this video is also about us, the adults, and our obsession with drama. Yes, what I didn't tell you yet was that this same video of the house being destroyed by a spoiled kid who had his phone taken away was
Also
fake.
right.
Many
But the fact is, this also was another issue goes on. Exactly. But that was similar to one house going in from there. Let me pull another one out with these kids. But also at the same time, it was just as bad with all of these different things what goes on. This other one, and you saw the one with what should you do? Lord Jesus, where was it? I just had it. There we go. Lord Jesus, I'm sorry. I done clicked off the thing. My fingers are not working well today.
That was fake. I just want to make sure that was fake.
He's saying it was fake, but there was also it really wasn't. Fake. He was trying to prove a point that a drama. But there are kids and parents who lose this stuff with kids in destroyed homes all the time.
We are not putting that on social media.
But it is
like maybe for the insurance claim or whatever. We're not putting that on social media. Okay, let me see.
You wrote into me. Tell me what you wanted me to get straight with your mom.
I want my mom to understand that I can't live off of $1,000 a month, and I grew up on a certain lifestyle. She can't just take that away from me immediately. If someone took her lifestyle away from her, she wouldn't like that. And I grew up on it. It's all I ever know. I can't deal with this. And so I came to you for help.
25.
Okay, so you want me to get her to do what? What would be the home run for you?
I need her to understand that I need at least $2,500 a month. She works all the time. She doesn't do anything for me. She doesn't drive me anywhere. And so other people would have their moms like drive them places, buy them food, make them food, but I have to do everything myself. And I need the funds for that.
So do you do that? When you have the money, are you in there in the kitchen frying up stuff and mixing up batter?
No, I'm buying food.
So you eat out a lot?
Yeah. I make food at home, but then I get bored of just, I don't like cooking because it just makes a huge mess. And then my mom gets mad at me. And I don't like cleaning up the huge mess and doing the dishes. And then I just don't like eating at home because it's the same boring food.
You say she's out there for you. How do you get to school every day?
I do online school. I don't go to school.
You don't go to school?
I don't go to public school for other reasons.
Why not?
I just got traumatized. I can't get into that right now, but
you got traumatized.
Yes.
Part of it is that she couldn't keep up with the lifestyle of the other
No,
kids
that's
in Beverly Hills.
There's other reasons. I'm not just like being a brat about that.
But you don't go to school, do you? So you
I do online school.
Yeah. How's she doing?
She's doing okay. I had to push her a little bit to get some of those grades up, but when she wants to focus on something, she's doing good.
$100,000.
Yeah, and I like it because I can like actually focus on it because I also was behind like in public school. I was really behind because it would go so fast, and so now I can actually take my time. So that's nice, and I don't have the pressure that I had at school and everything.
Yeah. So you want a G-Wagon for your 16th birthday?
I need my G-Wagon. There's no question. I need it.
There's no question.
Yeah.
You need that.
Yeah. My mom's buying a Bentley for herself. Why can't I get a G-Wagon?
Why do you need a G-Wagon?
I really want the G-Wagon.
Well, I understand you want it, but why do you said I need the G-Wagon? Why do you need
I really like the way it looks. I've wanted one for over 2 years now. Every time I see them, you see so many of them near my house, and every time I see one, I'm in awe. I love them. The interior is so nice, and there's no blind spots at all. Like, it's so big and open. There's so much trunk space. It's amazing. And they look so nice inside. When you're inside, when you see the interior, the exterior doesn't even matter at all. It's just amazing. And I really want a nice car. She wants to give me a Mercedes C-Class. I will accept that car.
No, I would. Started with a Honda or a Toyota, and then it barely gets.
I will be happy with that car, but the thing is, I want my G-Wagon.
Really? A C-Class?
But we started with a Honda, a Toyota. I started with a Toyota.
Not. I will not be driving anything that can be considered an Uber X.
A what?
An Uber X.
An Uber X?
Yes, we're going Uber Lux and above.
My car doesn't cost $231,000.
Why not? I mean, why doesn't it?
That just seems like an exorbitant amount to spend on a car. It just seemed foolish to me. I just wouldn't spend it on a car.
Well, I want to. We're talking about me here.
Yeah,
this is my show.
Only C-Class. Well, we could take that money. I could say, you know what? The money you would spend just for the C-Class. I'm like, look, buy me like 10 used cars at like $8,000 a piece, and I'm gonna start my own like $80,000. So C-Class. What's the average C-Class these days? I don't even know.
Here, watch this. I don't even know what that is. I have no idea what that is. Because you know what? I drive a Honda Pilot. I got 7 passengers. I got kids. I got things to do. I'm sorry. I drive. So no, and that's mom's fault again. That's dumb mom. That sounds like cold case to me. Okay, everybody's leaving here.
But you
Ain't
see,
nobody finding out of us.
But you see on those investigation channels that a lot of women like to watch and things, or somebody being killed or murdered, whatever. You see a lot of these kids because of they're killing somebody because they couldn't get anything. They're stealing credit cards.
Let me go ahead and tell you. Before I get got, yeah, you ain't got to. That sounds like for them a cold case. I will be in that kitchen making cornbread. I will be frying chicken and cutting greens. Do you really think she couldn't even walk down my street? Like, no, I think some of that is just propaganda. I'm not going to believe all of that because it's not happening. It's not.
Oh, you'd be surprised how often.
I'm not saying it's not happening. It's just not happening here. And the problem that I have is that I saw like 3 of your videos. That video where the mama was crying and she looked like she could be me, and that means her child probably looked like my child. I have a problem with that. Okay. I get that everybody else might do something different with their children, but like he didn't tear up that whole house. He couldn't have tore up that house. Where was she at 12 years old taking a phone?
I've had to go into a lot of homes, seeing that rich, poor, didn't matter.
I work in mental health. I got you.
And it's crazy. So just for the base, no thrills, C-Class starts at basically $49,000.
So we're about to tell you're going to give me some car education that I don't care about as long as I get from A to B and I do the maintenance on my car.
It is not for. I have to be fair to show the audience who may not be familiar because you said you didn't even know.
What's a G wagon? What is that?
A G wagon is just all it is it's just a G class SUV.
Why is it a G? Does it mean it's good or great? What is the G? Why? Well, who makes it?
It's just what it's Mercedes. It's the short the full name is Gellendale wagon, something like that. So they just call it a G wagon.
Well, if they're buying that, that means they can afford the tires and the maintenance. So if that's what her family does, that's fine. But if you're giving a kid around here in Chesterfield, I don't care how much money he got, a G wagon, then a car should cost $243,000.
It's
how much does the house cost?
The base version of it is $150,000, and it gets, and then mind you, it gets 13 to 15 miles a gallon.
13 to 15 miles a gallon. So you can't go to the Best Buy if you live in Chester and it's in Colonial Heights. I mean, North Chester. Seriously. So yeah, a lot of this is just foolishness. You know what? They need to put some of these kids in tents and let them just go ahead and sleep outside.
It gets it has a 26-gallon tank. So it has a range of, so it basically has a city range of 343 miles and maybe 422 on a highway.
And I just want to drive it because it looks nice and the trunk is nice.
It's the status because I want to keep up with everybody else and look good and things. And I'm just like,
Yeah. Okay. So thank God my kids are older and they need to buy their own things. I'm sorry for everybody else that are raising their kids like this. I'm sorry for you. I don't agree. Enjoy Christmas with each other. And if you're worried about presents, if you go broke and can't pay it, tax time is around February. So enjoy yourself.
And stop using tax time as you get out of jail free card.
Is that what that is? Until you start owing taxes.
Exactly.
And it's inflation.
And then they start complaining and everything else, especially these mothers with a bunch of kids and everybody fighting to claim kids and all this other dumbness and no more. But also I want to shout out to thank you, Miss Paulette Singleton. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you, Queen, and things like that. Thank you so very much. Hello, Miss Paulette. Love that woman. But
had a good time.
Very much so. Very much so. For those, since you're in the health field, licensed mental health professional, for those who seek your counsel and advice, and I want to tell everybody that this woman's here is great, and you do private work as well. So if you have an issue that you don't need to go to a major organization and you want to have a consultation individually, family, group, or individual, and those who are rich families who want to donate and deal with your bad kids and need private care and things, this Miss Walston is the person to give a call.
Okay, and thank you. Yes, you can. I know he puts my email somewhere, but my private practice is Accepting Grace Therapeutic and Counseling Services. So yes, if you have questions, if you just want a question answered, I answer questions. I do consultations, I do assessments, and then I also do individual therapy, family therapy, and couples therapy. So if you just want to shoot me a question, Mr. LP, can you please put my Gmail account in the chat?
See it. What?
My first and last name at Gmail.
Oh, Jesus, help me. Where's the website?
Where's my website? Waiting on you to build it.
I'm waiting for that Zelle payment. Excuse me. I
got you. You see how people do? I just bought a whole book. Okay, stop playing with me. Oh, he's disrespectful. No problem. We can do this, Steven. Let me tell you something. We can do this. Okay.
We could definitely do that. We could definitely do that. Also, and shout out to Arthur Tracy Hardy Scott. I love her. Sorry she couldn't join us today. our guests, and I'll tell you that. Oh Lord, Tracy was on the show. I would have had to cut the show early because
See, I need my backup because see now I had to come up out of my shell tonight. I don't like that. I needed Miss Silk. I needed Miss Raw Silk tonight, but that's fine. It's okay.
yeah, problem. But your email there is article. Lord Jesus.
Here we go. Okay. It is anikawolston@gmail.com.
I'm
Feel
sorry.
free to ask me any questions at all.
I have 5 friends with the same name, and 3 of them say, so I'm sorry. I'm trying to
Yeah,
keep
but then that just tells you that they're not me. That's
obvious.
all.
Yeah, obviously. That's obvious. But I thank everybody for joining us and watching us for today's show. We had a lot of great conversation. Hopefully, the information can help everybody for what you need and what we can do to make some things work, because it's a very important that we do some things. Also, if you do must shop for those who are in need and things, we do have a link with Amazon, tiny.cc/MRLP Amazon. Yes, we are affiliate and the discounts, but do you see you'll start getting a little bit more green check marks for discounts and anything else that you may have, so it can help for your needs for shopping for important things and stuff. If there's something that you need to purchase and that you did save or whatever else that's out there, please utilize my link. It will help offer you some additional discounts up to 40, some cases 50% off. Some lady brought some clothes for a family and they were in need and was able to went down from utilizing my link. Before they went shopping, went back and purchased, they were able to save $75 instead of $260 something. They got about 190, 185, something like that. So they saved some money. So please utilize that link on Amazon. You have to go to it daily. It doesn't save on your cash files, but please look to utilize that as well. Also, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please email us at enliven, ENLIVENGM@gmail.com. Cash App, IM, NSLP. We also have Venmo's the same, and also PayPal. So please, because Miss Washington charges me a fee every week, so I need to be able to pay her. And I couldn't afford both her and Silk, so I had to pay Miss Washington this time. Silk said no, she needed to buy it. She needed another $300 for another wig. So
she's gonna get you. Oh Lord, she's gonna get you.
So she needed a silver wig. The hair is gray, so she needed a silver wig to go with it to make sure that it hide that part. So we need to get the money. So I need to pay. So please donate and things that can help us out.
Y'all pray for him. Y'all might not see him next week, but go ahead. Yes, sir.
Next week is going to be a very good show. Next week, we elections coming up, and of course, we try to we're not to intimidate everybody with it, but there's a lot of Black men that are upset about Kamala, and then there's people are really mad because now all these Black men are mad at President Obama saying something about it, which he called everybody out, which was the truth. It was the right statement.
We got a panel coming. We got a panel.
I got a panel coming.
We got a panel coming.
I got a panel. Coming. I got a panel.
Okay. We got a panel.
So
I love Black men. I love all Black men. I can't wait.
I need my Black men who are out, who are not happy with VP Harris and got something to say. You stop sending me emails, stop sending me inboxes, complaining on thing. Come on here. And because we're gonna have men on both sides of the equation, I want you to come up and have something to say.
Am I invited? Can I come? Am I going to get up here?
You're moderating.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And things like that. So you're moderating the next week's show.
So you've already put it out there. So that's great. Awesome. Can't wait to do that. I love you, Mr. LB. You need to know that.
Thank you so very kindly. Thank everybody. Stay with me, Miss Walston. But everybody, thank y'all so very kindly. We'll see you next week. Have a blessed day, everybody.
See you later.